Okay, welcome back to Rock the Rasbar. We've got our special guest, Justin Westhoff.
Oi!
Hey, welcome.
Thank you for having me, boys. I thought I was a bit of an audition for the third host.
Cool.
Third host. Well, you're about our 15th guest that we wanted, but we had to settle for you because everyone else cancelled today.
They did, didn't they? But
Last
that's
man
okay.
standing.
We've got a beautiful special guest. I'm going to give you a bit of a pump up here to start. You were taken at pick 71.
Yep,
All the best slide, they say. So there's that.
Certainly do.
that's what they say.
You quickly became a cult figure at the club. You played 280 games in nearly every posse on the ground. What was your favourite posse there?
Favourite posse is probably out there in the wing.
Yeah? Like
Not-
the wing?
Not dealing with too many opponents, just running your own race.
Running your own race.
Yeah.
Well, you kicked a few goals as well, 313.
A few goals, yeah.
A few snags, so you didn't mind kicking a few goals. And you won the 2018 John Cale medal. And Can quoted that night saying, "I've never known a more deserving player." So
Oh,
that's
there you
pretty
go.
special. What does that mean to you?
That was a brilliant night. It's always nice to win a couple of those over your journey. So I hadn't win too many before that, so it was nice to do something in my career. So
Don't be silly, mate. Don't be silly. And you're back working at the club. How are you finding that?
yeah, it's been really enjoyable. The transition's been really good from playing to, I guess, coaching to some extent and doing a bit with you boys in
Yep.
player welfare. So it's been nice to sit up in the balcony and watch you guys run laps throughout the last 18 months. But it's still really good to be involved and looking forward to a little bit more working closely with you guys. So it's exciting.
You're doing a bit more with the playing group now, is that right?
Yeah, more so with our next generation guys and our father sons. But yeah, working with Paul Short here as well, giving him a bit of a helping hand in the player welfare, sorting out all these young boys. It's more problems than I thought there'd be. But
Who's been the biggest pest there? We won't mention names, maybe.
I can't say.
Probably can't
Loose
go
lips.
into that.
Think ships.
I want to speak to you about your charity work because we know you gave up a lot of your time throughout your career and you've done outstanding things off the field in that space. We spoke to a guy last week, Sean Burgoyne, who's got his finger in every pie in Adelaide.
Yeah,
You're
certainly
not
does.
far behind, but your charity work that you do, can you just talk us through how you got involved in that and the things you've been involved in the past? And how can we get involved or have a look at them?
Yeah, so I probably started a little business called Forage Supply Co. about 5 years ago with a good mate of mine from the Barossa Valley, Scotty. It kind of all stemmed from starting a wine label up back then, and then it kind of snowballed into what are we doing within the community that obviously helps our business, but just gives us a great opportunity to give back with what we can do through business, I suppose. So we started a little wine brand, which is so much better than Hey Diddle.
And you actually give back to charity,
Yeah,
not
exactly
like Hey
right.
Diddle.
Yeah,
They're
they-
filling their pockets.
Take. But so a part of our business, we started a little food truck and a few school-based community gardens around SA. So what we were trying to do is feed everything back into our business with, I guess, educating kids on where their food comes from and giving them opportunity to go outside and see and grow fruit in their own backyard. But we ended up buying the fruit and veg back off them and putting it through our food truck through festivals around SA. So, and then also now being able to employ people experiencing homelessness, if I can say it properly, through particular pathways here in SA, through Hut Street, where we can provide them with paid work through us, and then hopefully gearing them up and doing some sort of qualification in hospitality. So it's just giving back in that front, and framework in your business in different ways that can support other people throughout. So, but yeah, the big part of that now is we just started up a business called Forage Built, which is hopefully a transitional housing solution for homeless people here in South Australia. So that's been a big part of probably my last 12 months at the club and going forward. So that's down in Tasting Australia and around SA. We're doing a bit of a tour with our prototype that we just built at the moment. So that's exciting. Hopefully we can get that off the ground and showing a bit of awareness on that front as well.
So the social media is Forage Supply, is that correct?
Forage Supply Co.
On
Yep.
Instagram and Twitter?
Instagram.
Facebook.
Or just Instagram?
All those things.
All the channels,
Yes.
okay. So
Yep.
if you want to get involved, listeners, have a look there and get involved. It's great work that you do.
Buy
Westy
some
away
wine
from the
too.
field.
Get
Bit
Getting
of
the wine in there. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Incredibly caring, man, aren't you, Westy? We're going to bring you back to footy. A big week
Yep.
this week against the Crows. You played in a few showdowns. What is your biggest sort of memory in those games?
It's probably it's probably fair to say it hasn't been built up. It's definitely still built up, but
Yep.
it's not probably what it used to be, just with the true rivalry of what it used to be. I probably grew up with the Cornses and that kind of,
Yep.
the Ramsgate and all that kind of stuff.
Can we talk
that
about the
pure
Ramsgate
rivalry.
rumble?
No,
or-
I wasn't there, so let's just leave that. But
Yep.
it's just a good time to play footy here in South Australia. You always wanted to win. When you come off a bad loss in a showdown, you tend to hide away for the next 2-3 weeks around town. So otherwise, you're getting heckled or eggs are landing on your house. So
Yeah.
I've had a bit of that over time. So it's always a game that you really wanted to win. Even more so for the guys at the moment, setting up that season, getting back on track. So I always used to love it, and to play in a away showdown as well. That was always the best game to play.
There has been a little bit of that this week, a bit of hiding away. So the boys need to get up and about and get this win this week. You, I believe, were fined for giving the crowd the bird in a showdown. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I got stitched up for that too because it wasn't on the telecast, and so the umpires didn't know about it. It's some rubbish AFL photographer ended up posting it on the AFL website, and he probably cost me about a couple of grand for that.
Ooh.
So
Never forgive for things like that.
never.
Could have got away with that. Now, Westy, I want to talk about your home life. You have
Yep.
15 kids at home. I'm at
Plenty
home
of
with
kids.
2 at the moment.
Yes.
You've got, how many kids do we have?
I got
5?
4.
4 kids.
4. Yep.
I'm at home struggling with 2. Is there any advice you can give me? I've heard you say quite often, just get them to school. Get them to school and then you're away. Is there any advice? I've got a 4-year-old Jack and a 6-month-old Hugh, and they are really grinding my gears at times. What's the advice for me?
School's always a good one. Get them, even if they're a year out, get them in 4 years old, straight into reception. But I think that's why I played for footy so long, because I was able to go away on weekends, and that's kind of saved me towards the end. But no, there's no tips, mate. It's just daily grind.
Just grind
I'm sure
it out.
you'll be having a few more too, Rock. So, Raz?
Well, yes, we're getting to work at the moment and trying to work on another father-son or
Yeah. it's always
daughter-son.
Yep.
Daughter,
Or
son.
daughter-son.
plenty of
Father-daughter.
Father.
We're going to take us right back to when you first got to the club, Westy. What was it like then, and who was around with you, and has it changed a fair bit since then, or?
It hasn't changed a hell of a lot, to
Yep.
be honest. Obviously, coming through with Rob and Boki, obviously still around. So that was probably the best thing about it. We had a really good group of guys who I was able to play through my whole career. We obviously things have changed in the AFL landscape over that time with being able to speak your word. We kind of just sat in silence and went about our footy that way. So, but it was great. I was a little bit older once I got drafted at 20. So I was I worked for a year and went to uni for a year. So I kind of loved the whole lifestyle change of being able to play footy full time. So that was exciting on my front, and just to be involved in such a successful club with the guys that they had in my first year. Absolute legends of the club: Treadway, Cornses, Lades, all those guys. So it was really, I guess, daunting initially, but once you're in the 4 walls, everyone's the same, and I got along with those guys really well. So always good to look back on stories like that. So
Couple more questions, Westy. How long do you think Boki can play for? Can he get to 400?
I have no doubt he can get to 400. No kids, lives a life. If I didn't have kids, I'd still be playing till I was 50. Let's be honest.
And we do have one question that's come through from a few listeners here. I think it was either Dougal Howard or Tom Cleary. They said you're a bit of a keen baseballer. Do you want to take us through that story?
I'm not sure I'm allowed to talk about that.
Is that a loaded question, Rock?
But
Well, I heard he's got a very good arm that may have put a ball through a window.
possibly. That yeah, that was I think that was after my last year. We'll dress up, so I ended up coming out as a baseball player, and we got a bit frisky with how fast we were able to pitch balls, so it ended up, I think, going through the window. That wasn't my fault, though. It was a catcher.
Well, they've said that you did it deliberately is my mail, but thank you very much for giving us an insight into Justin Westhoff, where you're at now, what you're doing. Your charity work is outstanding, what you do away from the field, but also the footy club, and the impact you've been able to help on a lot of people's lives away from football, the work you do in schools as well, but also back at Port Adelaide. Great to have you. You'll be a keen watcher there tomorrow night to watch the Showdown. Thanks for coming on and give us an insight into the life of Justin Westhoff.
Cheers, man. Thanks.